Total Smith here. Make sure y'all subscribe to my boy Downtown Deuce ASAP. Come on, man.
Destination restoration. Destination restoration. Destination restoration. Destination restoration. It's our time. Can you feel the elevation? We on a mission on vacation. Time to create the separation. Championships and motivation. 313 need no explanation. Miss me with all that conversation. We ready for the confrontation. Counting down to our destination. The final destination. Together all the time together. It's us against the world, it don't get no better. We turned it around, that was the beginning. Coming for the crown, you know we winning. Time to put in the work, I'm about to go berserk. Taking our prisoners, it's my time. Yeah, I know that it hurts. Tearing back on the church, you don't wanna see me in my prime. The mission is to ring, we're caught in everything. In the city, supporting the dream. Reaching new heights never seen, we deserve to be king. It's all or nothing, no in between. The clock is ticking and I hope you're listening. Don't touch me cause I'm sizzling. Physicality is tipping and mentality is menacing. The dog pound body's crippling. Now the clock is ticking and I hope you're listening. Don't touch me cause I'm sizzling. Physicality is tipping and mentality is menacing. The dog pound body's crippling. Feel the elevation. We on a mission on vacation. Time to create the separation. Championships and motivation. 313 need no explanation. Miss me with all that conversation. We ready for the confrontation. Counting down to our destination. The final destination.
What up, though? Welcome back to another episode of the Downtown Deuce Show with the boss. Hope everybody is having a great Thursday night. Friday Eve is approaching. Almost at the end of another week. The weekend approaches. Boss, what's going on your way?
Not much. Now I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow, extra. But yeah, another week, end of the weekend of the month. Turns to February, finally. Yeah. Boy, always feels so long. So
hopefully this cold weather goes with it. At least a little bit, because it's been snowing like every day here in Michigan for like the past week. Insane stuff. Yeah. Not fun. But listen, we see y'all in the chat, man. We're going to go ahead and throw this poll up for tonight. Of course, no belt, right? No belt tonight because we didn't get a dub. But we do have some things that we want to talk about, and we're going to get you guys' take on that. So let's just get into it, man. Let's get into this game. So, guys, tonight the Pistons face off against the Suns on the road, and they came up short, 96-114. They dropped to 34-12 on the regular season, and they now hold a 5.5 game lead over the Celtics and the Knicks in the Eastern Conference. And as you guys can see that poll, the question is, what is the reason for the loss tonight? And I know, Bob, I'm not sure if you can see it, but the options are cold shooting, the Suns just outplay them, or they didn't compete for 48 minutes. So we'll see how that looks as we get deeper into this game. But as far as the injury report, guys, so we've talked about this a little bit. We're not going to harp on this too much, but as far as the injury report for the Pistons, Caris LeVert was out again. He missed his 5th straight game with the illness designation. So he was present for shoot around. He got some shots up, but the Pistons decided to hold him out for the 5th game in a row. And like I said, I'm not going to harp on this too much. I can't say anything for sure, but I'll just say this. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see some motion soon. Like I said, after game 3, when he was held out, you don't normally see guys sit out longer than 1 or 2 games with an illness. There are special situations, obviously, but that's not the norm. So now that we're at 5, I do have my eye on what happens next, if anything. So I'm just kind of paying attention to that, boss.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it was definitely, look, I'm actually not that upset. I think the Pistons kind of needed this challenge. I was wondering when we were going to, we haven't had a blowout loss like this where, you know, you see guys going in the last 4 minutes. Since the Cavs game, game number 2 or 3 of the season. So it does open some doors, some insights. I do think, even though some of our usual shooters were off tonight, there's the same with the Nuggets. We do kind of need one more consistent guy. There's plenty for cheap. Again, I think that there's plenty out there that we can get that isn't a huge buy. So we'll see how Trajan works with that. So, it could have been a little bit of a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
I'm happy that this kind of loss came now when we still have plenty of a time to adjust. The Suns I personally think the Suns just outplayed us. And then when we did go cold, they they were just not missing. They were hitting everything. They had one cold streak in the third, it felt like. So they played really well. I have to give them my props because
and this is
incredible basketball by them and their home crowd. So
and this was without Devin Booker again and Jalen Green again, who both missed the games tonight. D Book was out with his ankle sprain again. And Jalen Green, who he came back recently, but he's out again with that hamstring injury. He just can't seem to get right.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else you wanted to get on as far as what you saw before I dive in?
Not really. I guess I don't really have initial thoughts, except the only thing I really liked at the beginning was even though the Suns were hitting their threes, we were staying in it without feeling the need to put up threes. I like when we, play our game still, we're getting it done in the paint. And then again, we just kind of went cold from everywhere. But I really appreciated that. I thought it was a great first quarter, and then it just went downhill. We had a little bit of spurts. Suns powered through. They kind of looked like us tonight in terms of, letting teams get close and not letting it get away. So, like I said, I can't fault them. They played a really great game of basketball.
They did. And you definitely got to give them credit. There's some things the Pistons could have done, obviously, to help themselves. But, it was definitely want to give credit where it's deserved for Phoenix. So for me, the last time these two played, if you guys remember, the Pistons actually won that game, 108-105, right? But they had to fight for it. They had to fight tooth and nail for that game because much like tonight in that game, they were outworked by the Suns in that first half. The Suns, they were more physical. They just played with a different intensity level than the Pistons did. And we were able to turn it around in that second half, right? And kind of go on some runs and get back into the game. But I think the difference was that in that game, we were able to kind of steal it. We were able to get back into it late in the second half and pick it up. And we were able to walk away with a close victory, a one possession game.
Right.
But I think the Pistons just got a taste of their own medicine tonight. They didn't really match that energy because the Suns, they do what we do.
Yeah.
They like to turn you, they play physical, they get stops, they turn you over, and they do what? They score in transition. Yeah. That's exactly how the Pistons want to play. Right. And I think it was kind of the same story. It was a lot of, kind of like deja vu, but I just wanted to see the Pistons not do what they did last game, which is just come out slow and really just have that right approach out the gate, that urgency that they didn't have, and they didn't have it again tonight either. So that was to me the difference in this game. There was a few other things you can point to, but I just think the fact that they didn't have that sustained energy from jump the same way they didn't last time. And this time the Suns just said, no, not this time. I'm not going to let you come back. Get this dub on us. Go ahead.
See, I thought that like I said, I thought they had a really good first. I thought that they did their best to keep up. Both teams were playing pretty equal. So I think I agree with that sentiment in terms of coming in the second. Like they didn't, once they started getting downhill, that's when their energy wasn't back up. And I feel like the usual momentum push that we get from the bench wasn't there tonight either. And then in the third, we did come out strong, but again, we just couldn't hold on. So I think it was a little bit of a better start than last game, but I agree with you that there were just certain things that the Suns just overtook the energy. They definitely watched remember that game as well and took notes and really, knew what to do with us.
Similar, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. The reason I said about the first quarter, I'm looking at how many points they scored. I think they scored 37 and 35 points in both quarters in that first half. They had 20 points in the first 5 minutes of the game.
Oh, yeah. Are you defensively, you mean?
Yeah. For the Pistons defensively, they just didn't come out the way they needed to defensively. And they let Dylan Brooks go crazy. He had 40 points tonight, career high, which is crazy. Crazy, man. It's had to come against us. It's funny because Greg Kelser actually said, I said it to myself in my head, but he said this, he said the same exact thing I was thinking. The Suns play like Boston. They play like Boston. They get a ton of threes up. Yeah. In the Pistons, they weren't guarding that 3-point line to start, especially early. They just looked caught off guard by how quick of a trigger the Suns had and by how far they were willing to shoot the ball from. But they kind of shouldn't have been because that's what happened last time.
Yeah.
Right. And on the other side, it didn't help. The Pistons, they were ice cold. They were 6 for
Mhm.
29 from 3 tonight. So the fact that the Suns were on, because when they're on, they're hard to stop. You know, when they're knocking shots down like the Celtics are, right?
Mhm.
But when you're not knocking down anything on the other end and you're not defending them well from out there, it's going to be a tough sledding for you all night long. And that's kind of what I saw.
Yeah, I like the comparison to the Celtics because they're basically the Celtics of the West because they're 29 and 18, I think.
I think so. Yeah, they're close to 30.
So not, that's 11 games above 500, like still doing well there. But I think they just have been a little bit unhealthy, then getting into the groove. So they're kind of like the Celtics too, where, you've seen the Celtics lose if they're not on it, if their offense is off a little bit, it's a little bit more tricky. So yeah.
313 Kurt says this felt just like that Derek White Boston game. Suns was hitting everything. I agree, bro. I definitely agree. Heisenberg says, go ahead.
Crazy that Gillespie had, came in with an injured hand and he was hitting crazy shots. Like he's gonna be fun in the future. The Suns, they have something because again, they mentioned it in the broadcast, but for all the Durant move, they got rid of all their picks. Like they don't own a pick for the next 6 years, so they have to work with what they've got. And right now, I think they can do it. I don't think that they can come out of the West, but I think that they can definitely be a threat this year and going forward.
They can win around. They can surprise somebody because Phoenix hasn't been good in quite some time. So this is the first year we've really seen. I think they were like second to last in defensive rating last year, and this year they're like top 5.
Yeah.
Right. So they definitely have improved as a team. They've turned it around pretty quickly, man. They're a good team. I got to give them credit. They're a good team, and just watching them play, they play tough. They're like defensively, they play tough. Offensively, if their shots fall in, they're really hard to stop. Because especially for the Pistons, for a team, when you got two teams who like to do the same thing, it can come down to who can make shots.
Yep.
It could come down to that because tonight the Pistons were forced to routinely take the ball out of the hoop and play in the half court. Right? That's not what they want to do. They're at their best when they're doing the opposite, which is getting stops and getting out and running. So when they would struggle in the half court and they won't score, the Suns were getting out and running. And when they're shooting as well as they did, 40% from 3 compared to our 20, when they're shooting that well, you're going to be stuck in the half court. And this is going to be a cycle over and over and over again. That's why you see coach call timeout to try to reset it, break the momentum, and just start fresh, right? I thought that was a good sign that he was aware of that, but the Pistons just never found their footing. That's why they were down 15 points, in the first half. And the way Dylan Brooks was hitting shots, man, if he's going to do that, it's going to be a long night. And a lot of those shots were tough shots, man. He was just knocking down shots. He had a few shots over Stu, Ron, Javonte. The Pistons threw multiple bodies at him, and he was just hitting shots. So I got to give him credit for that. Yeah,
same. And I like what you said too, just about how, because I think that's a whole argument for us having a shooter is because we are winning on our defense, except in matchups like this where we were the first team to go cold and we could not get a stop because even though we had very good, I feel like we had very good defense at times. I think our perimeter defense improved as the game went on, and we just did have good overall defense. Maybe 50-50, I would say. I just saw a lot of good, but again, they were making the hard shots too. So it was just, there was just doing your best to slow them down and to stop them. And they were on one. I think someone said way earlier that Dylan Brooks had this circled. And I agree. I think for some reason he does have something against the Pistons. I don't know if it's because he just deems himself the ultimate bad boy and he wants to make a statement against the bad boy team. So, and he did. He got his career high tonight. And I mean, as someone who likes physical play, I like that part. I don't like talking incessantly, constant. But I did like the physicalness of his game tonight. So
he's one of those guys that if he was on your team, you'd love him.
Right.
Right. If he's not, you can't stand him.
I definitely don't hate him. I just but it's just nonstop talking sometimes. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Breathe.
It gives his team an edge. It gives him an edge, man. So we talked about it. They tried to get going in the second half, but good teams respond with run to their own. And that's kind of what happened in this game. The Pistons had an 18-5 run in that third quarter, and they closed the quarter letting Phoenix go on a 16-4 run. Right? So they didn't – all the work they had pretty much done to get back into the game, to get the lead down to 3, they pretty much let it go. And that, to me, was I won't say the dagger, but that made it hard because you exert a lot of energy to get back into the game. And then third quarter, you scoreboard and you're still down double digits. That's hard, right? Yeah. Especially when you had chances to get back into it. So once again, the Pistons can't decide to just turn it on.
Right.
You know, they can't rely on being able to just flip that switch and say, all right, let's go get this game, especially against a good team like Phoenix, right, who plays the way they play. So they got to make sure they're not falling behind early, man. They can't play with that lack of focus to start, you know, and it happened in both of these games. Right.
Agreed.
So they got to learn from that. So they got away with it the first time, but tonight, you know, it really did burn them. But to be honest, I'm not really mad after this loss. You know, that we could have played better. Like you mentioned, you said it. We could have played better. But we're getting into the part of the schedule now, boss, that's starting to feature some quality teams out west.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it's good now for the Pistons to start seeing some of these teams, seeing how they stack up against the West, how they measure up as a gauge. Yeah. And I think it's also good for Trajan Langdon to kind of see what weaknesses need to be addressed before we get to this trade deadline and even into the offseason.
Exactly. And that's exactly like we can't win them all. That would be insane. And so I'd rather that we win, you know, like this, where there was effort. A lot of the time we did try to come back. We dug ourselves a hole. We went on runs. I just feel like it could have been, we only had 9 turnovers. Like it could have been a way sloppier mess. It could have just been really, really ugly. Like, I don't think it was ugly. Yeah, we went through, someone mentioned it earlier that, you know, 6 minutes of no field goal. Like that's ugly, but it wasn't like, I just don't think it was, they were working hard and the other team was working a little bit harder and the other team got the jump ahead, which makes it harder to get back. Exactly. And the fact that we were able to pull it within 3 at a time, within 8, like, yeah, that's like frustrating. It's like, I'll finish it off. But the fact we were able to do that and then it fade away, and we just kept doing that and then just kind of let it go at the end there. But they'll take away from this. I'm ready for another bounce back dance from Cade.
Yep. It's the benefit of having a back-to-back.
Yes. Yeah, that's like it sucks that it's a West back-to-back. They're in a different schedule. They play at 10 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Yeah. So sorry for you guys. That's 8 p.m. here. At least
you already know.
But
we're gonna be up to 2 in the morning.
But yeah, exactly. But it's like you said, it's kind of a benefit. I don't think that they're just going to shake this off. Like they are like on to the next mentality, but they're not just going to like this is going to stick with them through tomorrow's game, I believe. Yep,
I agree. I'm expecting the bounce back one. We'll get to that later. Brandon says the answer to the poll is yes. So let's go ahead. And I saw some JB Bickerstaff answers in there too. Let's get to the poll and see what you guys thought. So as far as what you guys thought the reason for this loss was tonight, 53% say the Suns just outplayed the Pistons. Mm-hmm. And 37% says cold shooting. Mm-hmm. And 11% says didn't compete for 48 minutes. So pretty split there. But I think I would agree with you guys. I think it wasn't one particular thing. Mm-hmm. I think, once again, there were some things the Pistons could have done to help themselves, but you got to get the Suns credit. Like you say, boss, you're not going to win every game. You're not going to be sharp every game. There's no excuse for not, trying to play hard every game and bring it, start every game. But that's what happens over an 82-game season with anybody. Everybody has games like this, right? So you can't get too high or too low on wins and losses individually. We're still 34-12. 5.5 games far and away in the East. But I do think there are some learning lessons in this game for sure, boss. That's all I got for the initial thoughts.
Well, it's like it was a combination of those two answers, I think. I think the Suns outplayed us so that when we did go into spurts, which again, they had one short one in the third.
Yep.
That, like they were just able to just keep going. They were just hot. They were hot the whole night. And so I think against, another team, it would be a little different if we were able to go on those runs like we did. But the Suns were just on it tonight. They were just constantly. So I think it is a combination of those two things.
Organic said boss had to pull out the Miller Lite hat, the Miller Lite cup after this doozy of a game.
I know. Right. I noticed that. I was like, I need to show this. Oh, just some Olipop.
Oh, okay.
Olipop. It's healthier soda.
Okay. I ain't mad at it. I may or may not have a little bit of liqueur in here. Allegedly. So boss, let's go ahead and get to some box scores, man. Let's see how this game played out. Let's start with Cade Cunningham tonight, guys. Cade Cunningham finished with 26 points on 8 for 22 shooting, 2 of 9 from 3, 8 for 10 from the free throw line, 3 boards, 7 assists, 2 turnovers, good ratio, 3 steals, good for him, in 34 minutes. What did you see tonight from Cade, boss?
Yeah, look, so he finished with 7 assists, but he had 4 assists in the first, which that just also goes to show just our lack of shooting, because we've definitely had other guys take shots, and I don't think that he really played hero ball. Like 8 of 22 is a bigger number for him, but I think a lot of those misses kind of came in the third. I was a little bit nervous about his wrist when he was kind of complaining about a foul, and then he almost airballed a 3 and then missed the free throw right away. I was like, is he feeling okay? So hopefully this is all right, because I know he's been dealing with that. But 8 points and 4 assists in the first, so couldn't ask for him better in the first quarter. He had that knock away from Brooks at the end of the second that prevented a shot. He scored the first possession of the half. He scored the first possession of the half, and then he found AT in the loose ball transition. That was when they really came out strong.
Yeah.
And then that huge throwdown dunk after the fake pass. His fake pass got me, because I was like, did he think the ref was a player? Like,
there was nobody even over there.
It was the ref. And I was like, did he almost throw it to the ref and then realize, oh, and I was like, Cade, that's what I thought it was, but it was a big one. And that throwdown was nice. So, I mean, he just kind of did everything that you ask of him. A 26-7 stat line is not bad at all, especially 3 steals. But, just couldn't get it done as the end of the team tonight. But definitely tried. He was out there.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. I mean, it felt like a quiet 26 to me. Maybe it's because he didn't shoot the greatest, 2 for 9 from 3, 8 for 22 overall. Isn't a great percentage, just like mid-30s. That's not great. Yeah. But it just felt kind of quiet. He started off great, I thought. But once again, I think a big part of it, too, was just that you could see the Suns' game plan. Tonight, they were like, Cade's not going to beat us. They were routinely doubling him when he got the ball over and over. And whenever the Pistons tried to get him off ball, you would see them trying to deny him the ball. They were staying attached, trying to deny him the basketball. So when that happened, you saw the Pistons struggle, because once again, it was in half court. So, Cade is, the engine for us in the half court. We got guys who can, push the ball in transition, but in half court, Cade is the engine when he's on the court. So they were like, okay, we're going to make sure somebody else is a playmaker. We're going to make JD make some passes off of cuts. We're going to make Tobias get something going in the half. You know what I mean? So that was to me the game plan. You saw them just trying to make sure they were playing physical with them. Like, hey, somebody else is going to beat us tonight. It's not going to be Cade. So it didn't help that the Pistons couldn't avoid that, too much. They couldn't get out in transition, so they couldn't avoid the half court. So it made it even harder, because there were more possessions where you saw Cade not getting the basketball and that happening, right? So that was a big part of it too. He did still find ways to get his offense going at times when they wouldn't double him, which wasn't much. And I thought for the most part, as far as the double team, I thought he played pretty well out of it. Like, he didn't make a ton of errors, a ton of turnovers out of it. Only 2 turnovers. Right? So he routinely made the right play when the help came and finding the open guy. He did, in the second half, wake up a little bit. We got some stops. That was when we started playing our game though. Transition, getting out in transition, getting stops, and that was when they got the quick timeout for the Suns. Real quick. Let's settle back in. Let's take care of the basketball, is what they were saying. Let's force them to play in the half court, the Pistons, right? So I thought when the opportunities were there in transition, he did a good job. Just pushing the basketball, getting to the rim, finishing, fake passes to the ref, like you said. Just kind of taking the game into his hands a little bit and trying to get him going. But once again, once it got to 3, we saw Phoenix. Okay, they said, okay, we're going to respond now. And they went on their run after that. So that's what good teams do. That's why you can't wait until the second half, though. You have to make sure you're starting the game against an even team or a close to even team. If you get behind, it's hard to catch up, because they're going to keep playing too. So as far as with Cade, though, I thought he played okay. He didn't shoot well, but I thought he tried to do the right thing more times than not. And he wasn't a negative at all. He made a lot of good plays for us. Just couldn't shoot the basketball well tonight. It happened.
Yeah, especially like you mentioned with the double teams. I'm glad you brought that up, because that was a big part of it. They were doubling him constantly. So to only have the 2 turnovers and, us try to shift and adjust to get, him out of those cleanly looked a lot better, because that's just what they're going to do. And that was their plan, obviously, and they showed it. So, yeah, I think just okay is a good way to put it. But still, he still had the most points for us. He actually had the most assists behind Ausar had 6. So, still our point guard, and he had to play a lot of minutes again tonight. Yep. 34, and the only reason he didn't play the entire fourth was because JB was like, let's just out of reach. Let me rest my guys for tomorrow. Yep. Or else he would have played. If it was closer, he definitely would have played closer to 40. So, not mad at Cade. I know that he was frustrated with the game too, so I expect him to come out tomorrow and get. He had only 2 threes for like a while.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, that was crazy. Couldn't throw it in the ocean, man. Quick comments I want to get to here. Joyce on Peter says, I know Cade is the truth. He played great on the beginning of the third quarter, but he needed some rest because this game was physical. Yeah, 36 minutes in the physical game. It's going to tire you out come fourth quarter. You're going to feel it, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's a good comment there. And then also, just for context and perspective, after a loss, guys, Michael Moore says OKC is losing by 20 on the road in Minneapolis. So Minnesota, I would say they are a team that is comparable to Phoenix as far as quality of team. Right. Yeah. So we know we're top of the East. OKC's top of the East. So we're both losing to good teams. That's what I mean. It happens to everybody. You're not going to play great every game.
Is Ant back? I'm curious because Ant was out. And Minnesota also just lost in a blowout too a couple games ago. So they're up and down as well. It's just that time of season. Everyone's going through it. I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying that teams are going to lose. Good teams are going to lose. And we did tonight because the Suns outplayed us. And it was we didn't give it away, I think, by any means. Especially with the lack of turnovers and stuff, we just weren't hitting our shots, just kind of like yesterday too. In Denver, just going cold there towards the end as well. So,
yeah, I mean, and I saw the comment that said that, I forgot who said that. Somebody said, but they have, except they have Ant. Yeah, that's true.
Do they have them today?
I'm not sure if they do tonight. That's a good question. Maybe you guys can fact check that. But here's the point though. The Suns and the T-Wolves are tied they both have identical records, 29-19. So the Suns, they did.
Ant's out there.
Okay. So my point is the Suns have had D-Book out for a long period of time. They've had Jalen Green out for a long period of time, and they have the same record as the T-Wolves. So yeah, they got Ant, but the Suns are not. They're not too shabby either. They're a good team regardless. So the point remains is that you're going to lose games. You're going to lose games. It doesn't matter.
We won.
No, they didn't. We won the first time, bro. We won the first game, bro.
They made it difficult, but we pulled it out. Which again,
we didn't. Yeah, we can't overreact, man. I see a lot of overreacting in the chat, man. Y'all can't be prisoner of the moment, bro. Thank you, Devin. It's just one game, bro. Like we're not gonna remember this game come playoff time.
Yeah.
And once again, I think these games are good for the Pistons at times to lose. Sometimes you got to be reminded, that you can't just coast. When sometimes you can kind of. Get kind of full of yourself a little bit. Not saying they are, but it can happen at times with young teams, and they just start rattling off games, and you start to think you're not invincible, but you think you're pretty tough to beat, which you are. But when you start playing like that, you become easier to beat. So I think this was a good win. Humble these guys just a little bit, right? Just get them to lock back in, focus. It's just one game, 182. It doesn't mean any more than any other game.
Yeah. And like you said, just when you mentioned that you kind of, don't mind these losses, or this is how I want to lose when it's not our, they can't go out and be like, well, we just had to take care of the ball because we got 20 turnovers. And if we they can't they just got outplayed. So they have to swallow that and be like, well, how can we get better to make sure this doesn't happen again? So, it's not a lot. Of course, losses stink. I wish we didn't have one. I wish we beat them. I had a good feeling about today too. I should never trust those, but I do think that this was needed, and I think it came at a good time because what a way to lose. I guess this is how I would want us to lose to get better, to challenge us to get better.
It's a long season, man.
Yes,
it's a long season. Once like we always say, we don't want to be Cleveland, not to throw shade, but we don't want to win 60 plus 64, 65 games. And then get eliminated in playoffs early. I'd rather go through the growing pains now so we know what we need. We can improve if we need to, and then have those longer runs when it really matters. Right. So that's what matters the most. So we'll leave it there on Cade, guys. We'll keep it moving. Let's move on now to Duncan Robinson, boss. Tonight in this game, Duncan Robinson finished with 9 points, 4 for 11 shooting overall, 1 for 6 from 3, 1 rebound, 1 assist, and 1 steal in 30 hefty minutes, boss. Take off on Duncan Robinson.
Oh, Duncan.
1
of 6. So he's 1 of 18.
Yeah.
Or 1 of 17.
1 of 17.
1 of 17.
11. Yep.
In the last 2 games. After being so consistent. And look, it sucks that it happened tonight, but we saw Bees go through this same exact thing. We saw THJ go through this same exact thing where they just were not hitting it. They just went through slumps. So it blows because they did have some good looks and they just weren't hitting. He had great defense in the second on Grayson Allen, like really good defense. He made Grayson Allen dribble it in from the perimeter and then give it up. He did that quite a couple times, and he had the steal in the third that led to the Cade layup that cut it to 5, just by getting the passing lane. So his effort was there, and I want to think that yesterday I had an issue with him in the game at the end of the game with the Nuggets because he wasn't hitting. Today he did hit, and I think he took 3 shots before he hit, so he was 1 of 4, and he ended 1 of 6. So I could see why he was in the game late. Still 30 minutes. I'm not sure if I would have done that, but I think he was doing okay on defense compared to how they were shooting as well. So I can also just see that. But yeah, just not the best shooting night for Dunk, but I love that he registered a stock. He's been doing that more lately. So that's just huge for his defense, but definitely wish his shot was hitting tonight.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't shoot well tonight, right? These last 2 games, you mentioned it, 1 for 17. He was 0 for 11 coming into tonight's game so far on the road trip until he hit that 3 from the corner. So many makeable shots that he just didn't fall. And it wasn't just him, it was everybody. Like, it was a lot of shots, a lot of free throws from guys who are normally money. Just was not a good shooting night from this team. But it's like we always say, boss, if you're going to play 30 minutes and you have 9 points, you got to be doing work on the other end. Yeah. Right. And it's tough. We've had this conversation, guys, a lot, right? If you got to be impactful some way, shape, or form. I didn't feel like he was really impactful tonight. I thought he had some good individual plays or stretches of a minute or 2 here and there. Yeah. He was trying, but it just wasn't impacting this game. And it's just hard when he's not, scoring the basketball because we've seen him at times too get hunted out. He did play good defense on individual possessions, but the Pistons defensively in the half court were rotating way too much. Rotating way too much. And it's good to know how to rotate, to be on the street defensively, but it's so much easier to play defense when you can stay straight up and keep your man in front of you. And you don't have to do that, you know, so often, because that requires a lot. No breakdowns can happen, and then moving the ball, you can't catch it to the ball. Even on good rotation, you can't keep up. And they move the ball well. So it's tough when you get broken down so often and you're rotating well and they're still knocking down threes. Yeah. You might see him turn to look like, come on, bro, did you stay in front, bro? We're trying out here. So that was the thing for me. It's like if he's not hitting those shots, it's tough for me to keep him out there because you're not really getting much from him on the other end to really kind of validate or warrant that many minutes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I totally agree. And I agree with you, too, on the rotations because the Suns have the 5th best defense. I think we rotate between first and second with OKC, like weekly. And so they know how to play defense, and they know what makes you tired on defense. They were tired us out, which made us, again, people mentioned that Cade looked tired. Some of our guys looked tired towards the end. So, but yeah, I agree with all the rotations. And even though they were hustling and trying, even on the good possessions, the Suns were still hitting it. And then that just sets you up for, half court offense. You got to get all your energy back after slowing down to get up the court. So I hope that his, tomorrow we're going to need it. I mean, it's Steph Curry. You know that he's going to, hit some threes. So just to have Duncan, if he gets to get back up to that, he was in like the 4 or 5 point range, which is great, but I'll even take a three shot from him. And I know he will. I know he will. I just hope it comes back tomorrow because we talked about this yesterday, because Daniss was having a really off shooting night. The shooters, they don't go in being like, oh, I'm just gonna just be way off with everything. They shoot what's right, and sometimes it's just not falling. And none of them looked bad tonight in terms of they were bad shots taken. At least not the big, not for Duncan, I'll say. But it just weren't falling. They just weren't falling. So.
Yeah, I think that's what it comes down to. Shooters shoot, man. Like you mentioned, our guys last year who were here, they went through stretches too. Every shooter goes through slumps, right? Before these last 2 games, I think he had like 5 or 6 straight games of hitting 4 threes every game, right? So that's encouraging. So we can't overlook the 5 or 6 games in a row when he did that, and then only harp on the 2 games when he's not shooting well. This is how it goes. This is how it goes. He's still, even with these 2 games, he's still one of the best shooters in the league. Oh yeah. Right. So we can't just jump on him now because he had 2 bad shooting nights. But it just comes back to, at the end of the day, you got to be doing something on either end. That's the only thing for me, right? Because even when he was knocking down shots, he was still trying like he was tonight defensively. Exactly. It was just that he was knocking down shots, so it didn't get noticed with the defense getting hung out. You know what I mean? So that's my only. I'm not gonna get on him. He had a bad shooting night again. Hopefully he can turn it around tomorrow night. But as long as the effort is there defensively, if we don't make any moves as far as our starters or anything like that, which I think we should, but if we don't, we know the effort's going to be there. So hopefully he can just knock down some shots and give us a play here or there defensively, like he did tonight, like you mentioned, throughout the games. So we'll see.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. All right. Let's get some quick comments. I see y'all coming in hot, man. We're missing a lot of them. We're trying to get to all of y'all.
I was throwing them up while you were talking. We were getting them up there.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I hit a few of these recent ones. Let's see. He got hunted, but he was right. Exactly. They were. Yeah. You saw them. He wasn't getting abused. A few times, like he kind of didn't have any resistance at on the perimeter, but for the majority of the night, he tried. He just it is what it is. So y'all get it. We'll leave it there. Let's move on, guys. Let's go to Ausar Thompson, boss. Tonight, Ausar Thompson finished with 6 points on 3 for 6 shooting, 4 boards, 6 assists for Ausar. Only 1 turnover in 25 minutes, boss. So what did you see tonight from Tasmanian Thompson?
Look, okay, so 3 of 6 I'm not even mad at, but 2 of them were the left-handed layups that didn't look the best. They just weren't smart. And one of them, it was when even Greg Helser was like, just slow down. We don't need to rush these. But he tried again, he failed, but those ones, they need to go in. We need those. Just on some timely possessions, I thought he made a little bit of a rush decision. But great on the boards. Even though it only says 4 rebounds, I feel like his presence was there. He had in the second, he had that knock away from Allen to end the second. He had in the third, he had a steal that led to the Duren free throws. It says no steal on my thing, but I definitely saw it. So
yeah, he definitely contributed to some.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. If he didn't get it, it was just the disruption part. But 6 assists, too, is good. I thought he handled the ball. He only had 1 turnover. I thought he handled the ball really well when we needed to get Cade off ball for the doubles. There were a couple times where I saw it. He looked a little bit more comfortable in the ball handling tonight. There was a couple. They had that overhead shot, and I was like, oh, Ron's bringing it up. And I realized it was Ausar, but just the way he was moving looked a little bit more fluid, like Ron kind of does when he brings up the ball. Yeah, only 2 fouls. I wish, I would have liked to see it play a little bit more aggressive, especially since they had Goodwin playing Cade crazy. I was like, It just was they're letting them do that. So I wish he would, kind of had hands on the guy the whole way up the floor. But yeah, a little bit more of an offensive contribution tonight in terms of scoring would have been helpful. Just thinking of those layups, how they were there, they were at the rim. But I'll take 6 assists, and I think he played the best defense you can overall. He was tasked with the guys on the perimeter. So yeah.
The Suns are a good defense, man. If you're not a skilled offensive player already, it's gonna be tough for you because they do a lot of good things defensively, man. They're very physical, they're very handsy. They get their hands on a lot of passes, a lot of deflections, a lot of things like that. They clog the paint. They were leaving him out there. It was a few times he would come off screens and he'd be wide open. Right. They were willing to give him that. Right. So it was he was trying to get himself going, like you said, trying to get to the hoop, trying to encourage transition offense off of your defense. But some of those attempts just weren't good shots. I'm not mad at trying to encourage that and push the ball. Right. Exactly. But they still got to be quality shots. And he just didn't have the touch. I think Heisenberg said he didn't have the touch around the rim. I don't want to see him kind of leaning in the air, trying to go left hand off glass. That's not his game. He can hit it occasionally. But in the game, when you're trying to claw your way back, every possession means something. So I would have liked to see less of that. It was just a quiet game for him. I didn't really feel the impact in even the assists. It felt like they came at a point when the game was kind of over. So not to fault him, for that. He still got him, but he just didn't feel very impactful to me. And he was kind of quiet. He was out there. I didn't really notice him out there.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. So, and it was kind of in that way of only 2 fouls. Only 6 points. So you didn't notice him, and it was kind of a good thing and a bad thing. It was he didn't really there was no big breakout plays. You weren't constantly being there's that Ausar defense, or be that's how Ausar gets to the rim. Just kind of he was there. And but yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah. So we'll leave it there. We got to get more from him. We can't just mention guys like Duncan, right? It's tough. 6 from Ausar and 9 from Duncan as starters is tough.
Yes,
that's tough, right? You got to get more output offensively. We know the defense is going to be the hallmark for this team, but we got to get more out of those 2 positions, right? If we're going to have those guys starting. But that's all I got on Ausar, man. Not too much. We can leave it there on him if you got anything else.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, we'll leave it there, guys. We'll move on now to Uncle T, Tobias Harris. Tonight, guys, finished with 13 points, 5 for 9 overall, 3 or 4 from 3-point, 5 boards, 1 assist, 2 turnovers, and 1 steal in 30 minutes. So these guys play some hefty minutes compared to the last few games we've seen outside of Cade. So what did you see tonight from Tobias, boss?
Yeah, and it just tells you again the offense. It looks like, I'm looking, and we'll get there with the bench, but it looks like our starters, especially like Ausar and Tobias, like 5 of 9 is still 6%. It wasn't like he was chucking up shots or anything in key possessions, and 13 is like right around his average. 5 rebounds is huge. He had the big 3 at the end of the third. I'm just getting to scuffles. He got attacked like right away in the game. Yeah. And I thought that they were like, oh, we're just going to set the tone right away that no one's going to do anything. Like it's not, but it ended up turning out to be like a very physical, very confrontational game, not like fights wise, but like they didn't like each other out there, So that was interesting. I'm also thinking maybe my campaign for Royce O'Neal on the TPE money might be over the way that he was fighting with Tobias.
Yeah, they got chippy. They got chippy for sure. At the start of the game too. Go ahead.
Yeah. And he did have a steal. I appreciate his defense. He only had 1 foul. He had Brooks a lot, and I saw some comments earlier like Ausar and Ron should have been on Brooks. And yeah, I agree, but I don't think Tobias did terrible on him. I think that just like you said, there were some defense possessions that fell apart, and there were some that were really good, and Brooks was just getting his shot. It's hard to get 40 points against us. Yeah. So yeah, he had an average Tobias night because that's what his box score says. And after having a big night in Denver, I can't fault him too much. But he was our third leading scorer tonight, so that's where he stands.
Y'all notice we're not tripping for a reason, man. It's once again, this is just one game, man. It's
it's okay to be
angry. We're 34 and 12, man. Like, let's not forget where we were 2 years ago. I know we're riding this high, but we just got to keep it in perspective. I think Organic put it best as far as Tobias. Compared to everybody else, Tobias was adequate. I like that word. He was adequate. He was about average. He was okay. I do think he was bothered a little bit just by the physicality and athleticism of their team, the Royce O'Neals of the world, the Dylan Brooks of the world, those guys, Grayson Allen, all those guys, because he's normally really good in the half court. And even though he was 5 for 9, it was a quiet 13 points. It felt like for me. He wasn't as effective as we usually see him. They got strong guys, quick guys, the scrappy guys. So I just felt like tonight watching him, he had a little bit of a tougher time just creating advantages in the post because those guys were physical, right? We weren't seeing him get mismatches like with Houston. When you would switch, the mismatch wouldn't be there because it's a guy of adequate size, of adequate strength, of adequate quickness. So I think tonight was the same thing. Like the Pistons, they have multiple guys who are long, strong, who can defend. So I just think it wasn't there tonight like it usually was.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, the Dre, that's low for some starters, Mandrews and Sarah. Did you watch the last game? This isn't like them,
But we addressed it though. We just said that.
Yeah, it's adequate, but it's just that's just what it was. People went cold, and again, I just appreciate that he didn't. He still shot 56%. It could be a different story if everything was ugly. You can, like you said, a quiet 13, but they weren't ugly. He still got his turnaround shots. I think he was like at least 50% from there, hit the 3 out of 4 threes, which is super quiet. So, so yeah. And then I think I'd have to go back and watch it. I didn't really pay attention to it, honestly, but I'm sure after last game and what the Suns did tonight that they tried to limit his touches to the ball. And his access to the basket. So
I'm gonna credit here too. Like I don't like anybody giving us more than 30, 35. Nobody. But he said, I'm not gonna overreact saying the season is over. The sky ain't falling, I agree. We were just saying like 6 is too, it's not enough for Ausar. Even if he's playing great defense, I still want to see more than 6 points, right? Yeah. And Duncan 9. I want to see more than that if they're getting 25, 30 minutes, right? That's the key. Devon says, now let's get dramatic. We have to make a move now because this is the only window. 27, 28, 29, and 30, 31. Those years don't matter apparently. But anyway.
A little sarcastic. But yeah,
for sure.
We're pro a little bit of a move. We don't need to sell the team though. But I do think that be disappointed after a loss. That's normal. But we're here to converse about it because it'd be easier to be like, yeah, we lost. They outplayed us. they'll do better next time. We know better by,
Right.
So, yeah.
This was the norm 2 years ago, but let's complain all day. I feel it, bro. That's where I'm at, man. It's a long season. I'm not tripping at all. I'm not happy. I'm not happy at all by any stretch, but these guys have given us quality basketball for most of the season, man. 80% of this year, 80% of these games have been wins.
Yeah.
So they're allowed to have a bad game every once in a while. Against a good team, too. So we'll leave it there. Boss, let's go to JD. Jalen Duren tonight, guys, finished with 23 points on 10 for 11 shooting, boss. 10 for 11. 3-3 from the free throw line. 13 boards, 4 assists, only 1 turnover, and a block in 28 minutes. That's what I'm talking about. Take off on JD, boss.
I mean, fantastic game. And I think some people were questioning why he was taken out at certain moments. You know what I noticed? This is what I noticed. And you know how I'm on JD about rebounds. When he went out, we stopped rebounding.
Mm-hmm.
When he went out, we did terrible on rebounds. The most rebounds off the bench were Jenkins with 3.
Mm-hmm.
And he was out, that's when the bench was in. Yeah. And so that's what I noticed. And that's kind of, also helped the Suns in their transition offense and everything. But I question a little bit too, because he also had 0 personal fouls, which is nuts. But it was, again, 28 minutes. So just out there for a little longer. And I think they just wanted to see if Stu could get going as well. And they were out there together a couple times too. But Duren was definitely player of the game tonight. They couldn't stop him down there. He was dominating. He was attacking the rim early. He had that reverse slam out of the timeout in the first.
That was nice. That was nice.
Boards and presence. Like, how many offensive boards did he have? He had 4. But there were a lot of putbacks. Like, he was just at the rim too. And, he finished the first with 6 of 6, 12 points, and 5 rebounds. That was in the first quarter. That's amazing. So, just a block on Goodwin in the fourth, too. Did they give that to him? Yeah, they did.
Yep, you got it.
So that was nice. And, I've seen him try to go up for the blocks a little bit more, too. I appreciate his defense tonight and his effort. But, definitely the player of the game. And for us, really, really no wrongs, I would say. So. Yeah,
that's where I'm at, too. I definitely felt like he was the bright spot tonight, boss, in this game. 100% was the bright spot in this game. Barbecue chicken against Mark Williams early. Like, he was getting whatever he wanted in that first quarter. And I see why some of you were saying, where was JD the second half, in certain spots of the game when we were going on our run and things like that. I get it. I totally get it. He couldn't be stopped, man. Like, Mark Williams he's tall, like he's 7'1", but he's not athletic nor as strong as JD. Neither. Like, usually it's one or the other. If you're strong, you don't have the athleticism or vice versa, but he's not big enough nor quick enough to stay in front of a guy like JD. JD was just blowing right past him.
Totally.
He would catch the ball, the free throw line, do the little Euro move and get right to the hoop. And he would go to the same move and he still just, and Mark Williams still couldn't get to it, So I thought he was able to routinely get whatever he wanted. And you mentioned on the glass, he was great in the boards. He was great in the boards. He was getting hacked again. He has some finishes again at the rim, and I heard that, and they didn't call anything, and he didn't complain. That's what I said. He didn't complain. He stared at the ref. He was mean mugging the ref and was mad about it, but he didn't let it linger. He just got back down the court, right? So I would have liked to see him get more touches, because he played like he was extremely efficient. And 3 for 3 from the free throw line, I love it. It's not a ton of free throws, but I know he can shoot between 75 and 80%. I know he can. We've seen him do it. He was in the 80s for a big portion of the season to start. I think the first 20, 25 games, he's 80%.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. So he was one of our most valuable. I mean, he's kind of who I almost just like, this is now the second game in a row, or not game in a row, but this is Cade's missed some free ones. He's missed some, not just free throws, but like the technicals, the three seconds. I'm almost like, okay, like is there someone else out there we should be trusting more? Even though, I would obviously still go with Cade right now, but Duren, if he was to say he was our only option, I would welcome it. He's been doing great with his free throws. So I agree. He kind of went on a little bit of a dip. Now he's going back up, because I remember he started very strong. It was one of the things that we were like, okay, that's nice. And I think that's also why he's getting better, looks like turnaround, fade away, jump shot looks in that area too. It's just been more consistent shooting there overall, but he did really good. Yeah,
I agree, man. The only critique I have on JD, and I'm not sure if you guys probably saw it, is transition defense, right? Transition defense. There were a few times, one in each half, where he got beat down the court off of by Mark Williams. He let Mark Williams get behind him on 2 separate occasions. I counted for a dunk. He tried to get back and he tried to get there in time, but the pass was on target. And and Mark Williams caught the lob both times. And one was a miss and one was a make. Like off a made shot, the Pistons made the shot, inbound the ball, push it up quick. So JD has to be aware of that. I will say he was playing extremely hard, but it wasn't like he played a ton of minutes, right? So if he's tired, you need to go sit down, right? But we need that transition D. We can't allow, once we execute our offense in the half court, which is not something we love to do or we do great, right? But when we do, we can't give it right back. We can't let them just get right back down the court and take it away. So that was the only negative. Only critique I had on JD is just to stay attached to his guy, make or miss. Got to stay attached and get back down the floor.
I agree. Because there were a few times and he just needs to hustle. You can tell he's not, the fastest out there. He's got to hustle a little bit because even when he's, trying to get a basket, he looks a little bit in slow motion. But was it Williams or was it? Yeah, because Goodwin has the mask, I think. So it must have been Williams. But that dunk, that was kind of cool of him to dunk it and then immediately just put the ball on the ground. I was like, that whole sequence was just really smooth. And just as a basketball fan, I was like, dang, that was high school.
That's what I saw, man. But I definitely thought he was the player of the game. He would have got the belt had the Pistons won this game. He was just the most impactful, I felt, on both ends. Because even when he wasn't getting blocks, he was still contesting a lot. Right, he's just doing a lot of good things. Help side defense, playing good defense straight up. Just a good game from JD, man. And somebody mentioned he played less than Duncan Robinson. That's what's just crazy. I didn't realize that. Let me check that. So Duncan played, what we say, 30, and JD played,
agreed.
28.
Yeah, he should have had more touches in the second. So
I agree, man. So we'll leave it there, guys. Let's get to some reserves, boss, and see how the rest of this game played out. Let's start with Daniss Jenkins, man. Tonight, Daniss Jenkins, guys, finished with 6 points on 2 for 8 shooting, all 3 from 3, 2 or 3 from the free throw line, 3 boards, 5 assists, 1 turnover in 23 minutes. What did you see from Tink in this game?
Yeah, he had that and one at the end of the first, which was really nice. He found the
smack in the face. Smack in the face.
Yeah, and they originally were like, no basket. I was like, what?
That's crazy.
Yeah, and luckily they fixed it because I would have been like, what are you trying to pull here? But he found a basket too after the Suns went up 9. He just, had the ball the entire time and got to the paint. He had a steal to the Stu layup in the fourth. Just not his shooting night. Not another off shooting night. Him and Duncan both on this road trip are just cold, and that just blows because they're usually guys that we can really rely on, especially from behind the perimeter. He had 1 turnover. He dribbled off his foot and immediately kind of got back on defense. He did. I think he could have fought for it a little bit there, but he was just like, oh no, if that's on me, let me get back. So over as a point guard, he did fine. It was just his shooting. 2 of 8 isn't the greatest. His shots weren't falling. But I don't think he, only 1 turnover. He helped give Cade a break out there. He still had 5 assists, which is by far the most. Only Ron had 2. Ron off the bench had 2 assists. No other bench guys recorded 1. So, I'll take that from him. I'm just excited for his shot to get back, and I'm sure he is too.
That's the key. I mean, because once again, he didn't really do anything bad other than not shoot the ball. So. He's like Duncan. You said it, boss. Just like Duncan, they have both been cold on this trip. This is not a great game, not a good game from Tink by his standards for sure. He usually shoots a pretty good percentage. But he had some shots at the rim that didn't go, some shots from the perimeter that didn't go. It was just shots you're expecting to go in that just didn't, like Duncan, right? So I do like that he still was able to contribute 5 assists to 1 turnover. That's great. He's not going to have a high turnover game more times than not. 9 out of 10 games, he's going to have less than 2 turnovers, right? So he showed it all year. It was just a shooting. He just couldn't knock down shot. And I'm with you, Clifton. I'm with you. I feel like he forced some shots too that he probably would want back. But a lot of them just didn't go down. They were in rhythm from what I saw. He had some from the corner, just didn't go. Last game he had one from the corner off the side of the backboard. It's like, whoa, that's not even Daniss So he's struggling with the shot right now. It's a bad time for. It's kind of happening with a few guys at the same time.
Yeah,
that kind of heightens it, makes it a little bit worse
against some tough teams for sure.
Yeah,
so, just a little bit over, but I still believe in him. again, not an overreaction, not saying back to the G League like some of you in here. So,
Come on,
but
man. We're not doing that.
no,
We're not doing that.
yeah, he's gonna bounce back just like they always do, just like Cade just did as well. He's gonna bounce back, and because again, it's tough when it's against these West teams that are hungry and fighting. You know, it's this time of the season. It's starting, as we talked about, it's starting to get closer and closer. If we're still have a 5.5 lead in the East. But the Suns, are neck and neck with the Wolves. This is when they need to really start putting wins together to even make it into the play-in and stuff. And we're sitting nice. And I don't think we're going to get complacent. I definitely don't think that's not who we are. We're not just going to sit up there and be like, whatever. If we lose a few, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's like someone mentioned earlier. But this is why it's important to get off to a good start. Is like for when you lose these games, it's not super detrimental to the outcome. And so he'll be just fine. Daniss will be just fine.
Yeah, I'm not worried about him. Let's get some comments here. Somebody said I'd like to see them try Chaz. And someone else says, why didn't Sasser get any burn?
Yeah,
I mean, those are good questions. I don't think there's anything wrong with if your guys don't have it going, your normal guys, because we are trying to shorten the rotation. You can see the Pistons are trying to shorten the rotation. They've gone with 10 men or 10 guys in meaningful minutes for I think the last 3 or 4 games now. So it seems like they're kind of trying to get a rotation consistently they can go with. And I'm not mad at that. Yeah. But in situations like the last 2 games, when you just see guys are not shooting it well, I don't have a problem with giving somebody else a chance. I'm cool with that. So I'm Northern. I'm not mad at that. Raystone, I'm not mad at that. Just give those guys a shot. I'm not mad. I understand why JB didn't. It's because he wants to get that we've been talking about the rotation. Prior to last week, we've been saying rotation. We got to be playing 12 guys. We can't play 12 guys. We get guys getting 10 minutes. What's the point? We were saying that for most of the year. Yeah. So now he's trying to shorten the rotation. So now he's trying to do it now. So it's kind of like we got to pick our poison with what we want, right? Because you want to see Chaz, you want to see Sass. I get it, but we also want to see a rotation kind of get developed so we can get some consistency. So sometimes maybe you got to live with guys who just don't play well. Yeah. In the event that toward the end of the season, these guys get consistent reps and they have their role down pat consistently because we're playing the same guys every game, it works out better in the future. So I see both sides of it. I'm not mad at y'all for that. But once again, I understand why JB decided not to do that, considering he's trying to get that rotation shortened.
Exactly. And I'm the same way. I'm like someone who's like, when we need a spark, like, why not try something new? And then I think it also just went down to we were going on runs and then they were coming back. Like, I think if we didn't go on some runs, he maybe would have adjusted some things. Maybe. Because, our guys were still proving that they could stay in it a little bit. But yeah, I would love to see more Chaz, more Sass. But like you do, so I understand why we're not right now. Yeah.
So I get it. I see both sides of it. All right, guys, we'll leave it there, man. Let's go now, boss, to Jaden Ivey tonight. Guys, tonight Jaden Ivey finished with, let's see, he did not score in this game. No. 0 for 3 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3, 2 boards, and that's it. But he only played 7 minutes. Yeah. He didn't make an appearance in the second half. I think he played only second quarter only, and that was it, if I recall correctly, boss.
I think the end of the first, start of the second.
Okay. Yeah. So what'd you see from JI?
Yeah, not a good game.
He didn't play well.
No, he missed the layup. I didn't love the mid-range shot he was doing. Usually he hasn't been taking those if he doesn't think he can sink them. Yeah. So I understand why he was taken out. He had, again, just kind of 50-50 with defense. I saw him moving well in the rotations. Like you said, we were forced to move a lot and forced to move and rotate a lot. And I saw him moving well at certain times. And other times, there was a guy wide open that could have been one of the guards. I don't know whose, but, Ivey's assignment. The positive for me tonight was that he went after those 2. There were 2 loose ball rebounds that he went after and made sure he grabbed. So I appreciated that from him. But, not a good night from Ivey.
It's just hard when you play 7 minutes, bro.
Well, exactly. Well, true. And we were talking about because the last few games he would come in and he would kind of make an impact right away and then get pulled. And we're just like, free him. Like, he was doing so well. Yeah. And now it's like the opposite where it's like 2 days ago in Denver, he started off slow and then started to heat up a little bit and then got pulled. And now he just started off slow and didn't get that second opportunity.
Didn't get the chance. Right. Yeah. That's a great point. Great point.
But I just did. Yeah. He just kind of came in and made the one layup I wish he would have grabbed.
Yeah, he missed that one. He blew one right at the rim.
Yeah, he got a little
He normally hits that. Like that's one of his go-to package finishes at the rim. Just kind of rolled off the rim. So a tough game for Ji, man. He didn't play well. He was dropping his head, which I don't like to see. Right. I don't want to see that. Keep playing. I know it's hard, but you got to keep playing through it. I don't know if it's because he's worried about getting pulled after a few plays. Because he kind of has. Like when we've seen him make a play here or play there that wasn't great, he would just get pulled immediately. And it's tough when you're just trying to get back and get into a flow, not step on toes, and you make a mistake and you're looking at your sideline like, is that it?
Yeah.
That's tough. And then when it happens consistently, it's hard. So not to excuse, because in the 7 minutes he played, he didn't play well. I'm just saying it's hard to get loose in 7 minutes, man. I mean, you look at the rest of the guys who came in at the end of the game, and had you not seen this game, you see 7 minutes, you're thinking he didn't play meaningful basketball at all. You like Chaz played 4, Bobi played 4, Paul played 4, Ji played 7. You're lumping him in with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So it's just like it's hard to do anything in that amount of time. I do think he would have played more had he played better, but I just think he needs some more runway, bro. Like
it's that kind of whole free Ivy of like when he's playing good, play him more. When he's playing bad, he also needs to play more. Someone just mentioned it too. I like this comment from Joyson Peters. I'm the biggest Ivy fan. He didn't play good tonight, but he needs reps to improve. I wish they would just let him play for the crew so he has some consistency. Pistons is hurting him right now. I could see that too. I wish he just got more minutes. I wouldn't say with the crews, but even when he's playing well, guys, and I know people are not gonna tell us that we're wrong even when we're giving him his fair criticism too. But I think that even when he was playing well, the few games before this road trip, he deserved more minutes. And so, I would have liked to see him more to see if he kind of bounced back, if he could have made some. He also didn't attempt a 3, I don't think. Oh, he had 1. Okay. He attempted 1 3. He's been hitting pretty good from the 3, so I want to see a little bit more from him there. But yeah, like you said, not a great game. And I do think he needs the more minutes. And, no matter what happens, if the Pistons do decide to keep him, I'm going to be happy because I want him to, the injury was a lot and I want to be patient with him because he absolutely can come back and have a good year. I think he's going to have a great career no matter where he is. I think he will bounce back, and it's taking a little bit of time, but I'm okay with the patience. And I don't think, especially after the way the Suns played and the way some of our other guys played, like you can't just say that like he went out there and hurt us. Like he wasn't the reason for this loss. He didn't play well in his 7 minutes.
He didn't play long enough to be the reason for the loss.
Exactly. So I don't want to hear any of that tonight.
I also like, it's been 30 games now, I think he's played. So he's played 30 games, but how many times has he played more than 20 minutes? It ain't just about the games you play, it's how much you play in those games. Yeah. Right? Like you mentioned, like there have been games where he's gotten to a slow start and he's picked it up in those games. He didn't get the opportunity. So it's like you can't just say, well, I played him. What you want? I played him. No. Like how much is he playing? How much is he playing in those games? Yeah. So that's a big part of it too.
Even when he's doing well, he's like the few games that he has been doing well for us before, again, this road trip, he wasn't getting more than 17 minutes. So I also I wouldn't be surprised if JB did play him for 17 minutes and see what happened. I still think, especially in a game like tonight, that he still could have done that. So, but that's just what I have on Ivy. It wasn't his best game, but there's always tomorrow with him.
Yeah. Devon says people just want you to say Ji sucks and needs to be traded. Yeah, I'm never gonna say that.
You guys got a bad game from me. Yeah, you got a bad game from me that I could see positively if he was traded. He's again my favorite player. If he was traded, I hope he goes to a place that will play him.
Yeah, I mean,
if he's not traded, I'm thrilled, and I want him to, I want us to give him the patience that he deserves to come over this. I think people just forget how not only the track that he was on last year before his injury, but what he did for us when Cade was injured. Like the kind of player he was every night. He was full of energy. And you can clearly tell that it's just not there yet for him because go back to his buzzer beater 4-pointer in the Kings last year. Just his energy, he's just not all there. And I wouldn't be either if when I was playing well, I got the same amount of minutes as when I was playing bad.
Yeah, I agree with this too. Organic says all the guards except Cade were off for the night. So why single Ji out? Yeah, y'all, the comments go crazy as soon as we say Ji, and most of them are negative. So why is he getting singled out when everybody played bad tonight? I'm not saying he didn't because he did. But everybody did.
Javonte Green had almost the exact same stat line as him. Just a steal.
Yeah. I'm gonna get to this too. Dwayne says, "Well, you guys are not going to read my takes on the Suns not having their two best scorers, and Pistons were at full strength like they were in Detroit. They got lucky in Detroit and lost tonight." So the thing is, they've been playing well all year without Devin Booker and Jalen Green playing. You did mention that earlier at the start of the show when you guys mentioned Minnesota and OKC and how Ant played, and these two guys didn't. They haven't had Devin Booker and Jalen Green a lot this year, and they're still tied record-wise with the T-Wolves, who have had Ant for most of this year. So it's not just one. It's not just individual guys. They have a deep team who plays hard, who plays physical, the same way we do. We've had guys out all year, and we've still been able to play well. The Phoenix Suns are the same way. They don't rely on just one or two guys. That's why we addressed it. We moved on from it because that is not the only reason that we lost this game. It wasn't just because it wasn't just like, well, had Booker and Green play, we would have won the last. That's not. We don't know. We don't know. What we do know is that this team has played well without them for the entire year, and that's why they are where they are in the standings.
And we've beaten people might come to us and say, we've beaten teams without Cade. We beat teams this year without 4 of our starters. The Nuggets are 8-2 without Jokic. But you don't know. I don't know the dynamic when Booker's on the floor. I can tell you that Dylan Brooks is not getting 40 points when Booker's on the floor. I can tell you that much. He's not getting the ball as much. So you don't know. But but of course, we want to play. We want to play the Nuggets with Jokic. We want to play the Suns with Booker. We want to play with their best because it's our best versus their best. That's fun basketball. That's good basketball. It challenges you. Yep. But also, our bench has humbled plenty of people too.
100%. We haven't lost a game this year when Daniss has started for Cade.
That's crazy.
And we've beaten some quality teams while doing that. So everybody has these games. So we'll leave it there, man. Not gonna hop on that too much. Let's move it on. Let's go now, guys, let's go to Ron Holland, boss. Tonight, Ron Holland finished with, he didn't score. Wow, Ron didn't score.
I know. He almost the exact same as
this was a tough game for a lot of guys. I'm looking at the bench. I'm seeing a bunch of donuts. That's crazy. You don't see that too often. Yeah. Tonight, Ron had 0 points, 0 for 5 shooting overall, 0 for 3 from 3, 1 board, 2 assists, and a block in 17 minutes. So stinker from Ron. What'd you see from Ron, boss?
Yeah. Positively, at the end of the first quarter, he blocked Gillespie and then he tried to save it from out of bounds. Just some hustle plays. As we know, Ron goes out and hustles every game. In the third quarter, he was the first sub in from the bench for Duncan. And I like that because it was when we were on our run. Mm-hmm. And I think we knew that we could get more defense to make more stops to get our transition offense. So, he didn't put in Jenkins, he didn't put in Ivy, he didn't put in other guys that can shoot. He's like, I'm going to put in a defender first. And it was Ron.
Yep.
And we know Ron can also shoot, or usually, he can make it. He can make an impact on offense. He can make an impact on offense.
He's getting better.
He has been lately. So they emphasize defense with that. I really love seeing him there. And then he just had great defense on Bouye at the end. Bouye, I think.
Bouye,
yeah. At the end of the third, to just just kind of suffocating. Again, kind of sucks that he didn't have a basket tonight. We can hold him to the same standard as Ivy and say that he should be gone. And he played 17 minutes with 0 points, but still a hustle guy, still played his game. Again, just goes to show he only had 1 foul, how tough the Suns were. I actually, when he came in the third, I was like, we didn't see him a lot in the second.
Yeah, I was like, noticed that too.
So I did see, maybe he could have come in a little bit earlier too, but because again, 1 foul, he is a great defender for us. But yeah, he was Ron tonight, but just couldn't get in the basket, basically.
Yeah. 0 for 5 overall, 0 for 3 from 3. He just couldn't score. A lot of these guys tonight played this. We said it before. We always say it. They played the way they play. Mm-hmm. Right. It's just a difference. Once again, if he was 3 for 5 from the field and 2 or 3 from 3, Ron had a great game.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
And because he didn't shoot well, it's easy to say he didn't play well at all. I mean, he wasn't impactful though. He tried.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just not going to bounce your way.
Yeah.
So I think tonight he had some good looks. Right.
Mm-hmm.
He had Heisenberg. He had a real fun tonight. I love him and his confidence, but he isn't the one that should be putting up threes, and we're trying to come back from down double digits. So here's the thing. If it's open, shoot it.
Yeah. If
it's in rhythm, shoot it. Right? Because he's capable enough of a shooter to say, okay, let it fly, make them respect it. If they're going to give it to you, shoot it. Right. And we don't want to start doing that, obviously, because they're going to give him that. Right. So, but Ron has proven that if he's open, you're comfortable with him taking that shot, especially from the corner. That seems to be his spot right now, right? Yeah. So I just think tonight it just didn't fall. It just didn't fall. He's still a work in progress. He's still got a ways to go, on that jump shot to be consistent. But I hear where you're at, Heisenberg, but it's like if you're open and you're in rhythm, I'm not mad. That's just me. Go ahead.
Because I was on the same kind of page as Heisenberg. Like I mentioned it last one. I was like, Ron, like, don't shoot it again. But, you know, he was 2 for 4 against Denver, and he had made a 3 in the game before as well. So that I agree. And I don't think that he takes it too far. Like, it's not like all of his 5 shots tonight were missed threes. But yeah, he was 0 for 3, but I think one of them looked close. The other ones were a little bit way off, but he was just trying to get in a rhythm because no one else was in a rhythm too. He was just trying for offense. So I agree with both of you. Basically, there's a time to stop it, but I think tonight when we were down and he had the open look, why not take it and then just, you know, hope that you get your guys are down there to help you get a second chance opportunity. Hope that you get hot in some way, because then again, if he hits that once, he's now a threat that they have to close out on, and it opens up more space for other people. So it's just a, you know, bittersweet kind of thing. Because again, 0 for 3 tonight, but 50% the other night. It's like, yeah. So it's a work in progress, man. Like, you know, they're gonna have slumps. It's gonna be peaks and valleys. Guys, this is what growing pains with a young team looks like. Mm-hmm. You know, like we say all the time, boss. This is the first time in a long time we've had a team, a core team, like full of guys that we have really built with and drafted. Right, with Cade, J.I., JD, Sar, Stu, and Ron. These are all guys that we drafted. Sass, all guys we drafted. So this is what it looks like. It's been a long time since we've done it this way. Yeah.
A lot of times we had guys here sign here who played elsewhere, journeymen who played elsewhere, or traded for guys who already played in the league and who knew who they were and are more polished as players. Like, think about it. Chauncey was signed here, right? Rip was traded here. Tayshaun is the only one in that starting 5 that was drafted. Yeah. He was traded here. Ben Wallace was traded here. All those guys that already played elsewhere and developed their games, right? So it's going to look a little bit different. It's going to be less consistency with a young team because you're seeing them as they work off all that, you know, as they work off all the chinks in their armor, so to speak, and all the things they got to work on. We haven't seen that in a long time. So this is what it looks like. Yeah. this is what it looks like. It's not like that's why we're not tripping. We're not shocked. Oh, this is crazy. Like, no, this is what it looks like, man. You're going to have games like this. This is what young teams do. They play great and they play bad sometimes. Yeah. So you just got to live with it, especially when they're doing it to the tune of 34-12. So it is what it is, man. There's no reason to overreact. This is what it looks like.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that they'll just, again, this is the kind of challenge I hope for them. And I'm mostly very curious how they come out tomorrow. I think it's going to say a lot. You can never promise a win. You just don't know. And especially against Steph Curry, I cannot promise you that man's not going to make 23s tomorrow. But
don't even put it out there.
No, I won't. Take it back. But I can promise you that what I want to see from them, we should all see better tonight. We should see something learned from tonight. And that's all you can do is just, you know, try to take it and go forward and do better. And tonight wasn't even bad. It was just that we weren't hitting our shots when the Suns were just consistently hot. So
yeah, I agree. So we can move on from Ron. Had a great game. He's going to bounce back soon, I am sure, like he has done all year. Because it's funny, beginning of the year, he was kind of slumping. And then he went through a stretch where he kind of caught fire a little bit.
They called him sophomore.
Right. But once again, it's the peaks and valleys of young guys. This is what it looks like, man. As a team, this is how it looks. And individually, this is how it looks. It's going to be games with like, bro, what just happened? Yeah. It happens. It just happens with young teams. So we'll leave it there, guys. Boss, let's keep going. Let's go to Javonte Green tonight, God. Mr. I tried my best tonight, coach. Yeah. If Chris was here. Javonte Green tonight, guys, also did not score in this game. 0 for 3 as well from the field. 0 for 2 as well from 3. So a few guys had some offers, man. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys off our bench who had offers tonight. Yeah. So it happens. It just goes that way sometimes. When it rains, it pours. Let me go through stat line and I'll take off, boss. 0 for 3 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3, 2 boards, and 1 steal in 11 minutes. He also didn't play a lot of minutes. So what did you see tonight from Savage Wolf?
Yeah, like I said, it just seemed like the momentum we usually get from our bench, our second unit, wasn't there tonight, and it is clear as day in the box score. It's clear as day. Like it would be different if they did all put up, a couple baskets, and I said that, but like no, like I think that's our bench. People say shooters up, but our bench has been very important. This is like the worst night our very deep bench has had in a while too. So I'm just gonna, again, not overreact because none of these guys are gonna overreact. They're gonna learn from it, but they're not gonna overreact. But
exactly.
He had another, which by the way, I finally got to see. I can't rewatch the Nuggets game for 3 days because I'm local, but in some of the highlights before this game aired, they showed it, and I finally got to see those were not foul closeouts on Jamal Murray.
No, that's what we're saying. It's insane.
I know, but then Wu had a bad closeout tonight. He was sprinting, and he hit under Gillespie, but he immediately made up for it. He caused a turnover on the Suns inbound on the next play.
Exactly. I
saw
that too.
Kind of what he does, and we couldn't capitalize off of it. We didn't score off of it, but it was just nice to see that immediate remedy because we've seen that a couple of times from guys. Like they make a mistake and they're like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go. Instead of sulking about it, like you said, we didn't appreciate that from J.I. The head drop. It's just more like, okay, I'm gonna go make an impact on the other side, and that's what he did. But yeah, 3 fouls is not normal for him as well. Again, he had a steal. He just couldn't make his three. The one three, I think he tried to get up before he got trapped in the corner because he just like caught it and whipped it. Like Chaz Lanier.
It was like Bogdanovich.
And it was bad.
When he was just as soon as he catches, he's letting it go.
Yeah,
it didn't even look comfortable.
Yeah,
good closeouts. Go ahead.
Exactly, and that's the whole thing is like he didn't want to end up getting doubled in that corner. Which is something that I get frustrated with Cade is when he goes to the corner sometimes when he switches to the corner because I'm like, but that's where they'll get you, Exactly. But that's a different story. But he just did it again. Not a lot of minutes, so not a huge impactful on defense in ways, but not his best game and just couldn't get anything going offensively. Which usually I saw someone at the way top say like, at the beginning of the pod that he was. That he's inconsistent and he is the most consistent player. This was not like him.
Yep.
But this one game in how many now? 44?
46.
46 games. This in 46 games, like, okay, like let it be your one of every 46. Cool. Yep. So he definitely went out there and tried, but didn't have a ton of minutes and then just couldn't get the ball going offensively.
Yeah, like you're having a struggle nation night when Javonte Green is like he can't get it going. I think the last few games he hasn't played his best. But you mentioned it like over the course of the season. I think Eastside Meach said it, he's still our best signing. Like he's still by far our best signing. Like effort wasn't the problem. But like we always say, these guys for the most part, regardless of their shooting splits, try to play the same exact way. Try to play to their role. So when they don't shoot well, like games tonight, as long as they're trying to play the same way and contribute toward the schematics of what we're trying to do on both ends, I'm okay, which is why I'm not tripping tonight because we just couldn't throw it in the ocean. That's that's what it came down to. If they were turning the ball over and taking bad shots and lazy on defense and just all these things they usually don't do that are nowhere near how they want to play identity-wise, now I'm tripping.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you weren't even giving the effort. You weren't even locked into the game plan. If you're locked in, like the game plan, being locked into the game plan isn't going to make shots go in for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't control that part. As long as you control the things you can, I'm not tripping. I'm not. Yeah. So that's all I got on him. I only have a lot on Javonte. Like he's been great for us this year. I'm not about to trip.
It seems like again, Javonte, Jenkins, Duncan, something about this road trip. Hopefully they shake it off and do it for a stellar game tomorrow,
Right. Brandon says this type of game probably won't happen for the rest of the year where so many guys have donuts in off games overall. Just bad luck tonight. Yes, you have a few bad luck games every year. Go ahead, boss.
Yeah, I just agree with that. I mean, we've seen teams this is the first time we've gotten blown out,
wire to wire too for most of the game. Go ahead.
Yeah, and look, and there, there's other teams out there that have gotten, it worse. Even the Nuggets have been blown out this year by the Wizards. The OKC has lost twice to the Raptors, like just some teams that you don't really expect. But yeah, so again, we can reiterate it time and time again. A loss sucks. We got to talk about it, but like you said, we still play to our identity. Like these guys are still playing. Like he got called for this closeout foul because, he wanted to get back on defense as fast as he could. He didn't just, wave it up and be like, oh, well, I just left him open,
Yeah.
So as long as we're playing hard and playing to our identity, it's hard to be mad. But again, if any of these guys on the bench, even if their shots were going up and falling, it would have been a different story. It felt like we had to rely a lot on our starters this game because of the lack of offense from our bench, which again is not like us. So
agreed. So it's like you guys say, burn the tape, man. Like make the only thing I would not burn or I would not disregard is just getting off to those good starts. Like we talked about the cold shooting 100%. Like we want to continue to work on it. We're not the greatest 3-point shooting team anyway. And a trade is not going to just dramatically shoot us to the top. It was just not who we are right now. But just the focus at the beginning of the game is the only thing, Abraham, that I would be aware of as far as the tape. Just make sure you hit first, get off to good starts, man, because that's how you want to play. That's how you can set the tone. So other than that, bro, I agree with you 100%. Burn the tape.
I do want to say our field goal percentage tonight was 43%.
Yeah, I mean the three ball.
Oh, yeah, I know. But I just overall, I know the three ball because like you said, we're not a 3-ball shooting team. Like we shot 29, which is a lot for us. And the Suns they were 16 of 42. Like, we were bad. And, they shot closer to 40%, which is good. But like, we wouldn't like 29 is a lot for us. 42 is more important for them. Right. And again, that's why I appreciate it about us staying in it. But just overall, our free throw percentage at 43 or field goal percentage at 43% isn't even, that just goes to show that it wasn't as ugly as it looked.
Agreed. I agree. Yeah. I agree with that for sure. So we'll leave it there, boss. Let's head to our last play for tonight. Dog Pound Senior Isaiah Stewart in this game, guys. He finished with 11 points on 4 or 5 shooting overall, 3 or 5 from the free throw line, 2 boards, 2 turnovers, a steal in 24 minutes, boss. So no blocks for Stu, which is surprising. Doesn't happen too often.
2 games in a row.
Right. So what'd you see from Stu?
I wanted him to block Peyton Watson so bad. But
wait, who?
Peyton Watson.
Watson.
The Denver Nuggets.
Oh, last game.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm still thinking about it. But he had a great cut to the basket in the first when Cade was getting the double. Just read that really well. Like Cade saw the double coming and so did Stu. And that's why Stu was able to get the cut so fast. Right. Why Cade was able to get rid of it so fast. That was just great communication.
Recognition.
Great shooting. Yeah. Recognition basketball. In the third, it's made me laugh. So, Brooks flopped with Ron, I think. Was it Ron? And
yes.
Or maybe Duncan or someone. I
think it was Ron.
Reached around and barely touched him and Brooks flopped. Yeah. And then Stu did it on the other end. That's how Stu when Stu went to the ground after I forgot who it was, Goodwin or someone else. He did the exact same thing. The minute he felt contact, he just threw his body. And Stu doesn't ever do that. It reminds me of one time that happened with Jokic and LeBron in a game. LeBron flopped, and then so Jokic did the exact same flop on the other end.
I remember. Yeah.
So if you go back, that's Stu. Both Stu and Dylan flopped, and Stu doesn't do that often. So you could tell how much he was just oh, no way, man, no way.
Yeah.
And then he had that nice layup after the Jenkins steal in the fourth. That's when he just kind of took it in, kind of slow motion. And everyone was kind of what's he going to do? Even I was. He just took it all the way to the rim. So he had a good Stu game. He's the only one, 11 points off the bench. That's our highest of the bench scorer. Yeah. He's our 4th leading scorer. He scored more than 2 starters. I think that's kind of why he played some minutes with JD, but I think that's why JD didn't play. How we were why isn't JD? And I think they were just we'll rest him because Stu's doing okay out there. But yeah, JD's defense was rebounds were missed this game. But Stu did 4 or 5 is nothing to complain about. 3 of 5 at the free throw line, don't love that, but 2 turnovers. Yeah, I mean, a kind of a messier game from Stu, but he was trying. He was out there, and I'm very, very proud of him. Because again, Dylan Brooks did not shut up the whole game. As he had every right to talk. He was backing up what he was saying. But I'm very proud of Stu for not getting a tech, even though he was grabbing jerseys and wrestling some people out there a few times. He didn't get the tech. Good job, Stu.
Ethan agrees with you. Says Stu and Ron been doing good, keeping their composure. This the type of game that the team could benefit from them getting kicked out. Yeah. Ron should have gotten in DB's face after that flop. Right. Yeah. So to your point, boss, of what you were saying, they've been doing a much better job of just keeping their emotions in check and just kind of walking away. Yeah, he said Organic said he was moments away from giving the finger point to the ref tonight, but he walked away.
Yeah. I mean, like the way that Brooks was barking at everybody, I was like, kind of expecting a text. So that's like I was like, Stu, don't bite. Like, don't bite. Like they're not giving it to Brooks. Like, don't let it be you that gets it. Which just makes the Tobias one at the beginning so much funnier.
I know.
Like it's just like, what did you say?
It's crazy. But, this was a weird game, man. Like Eastside Me says, only one to hit double figures off the bench. Yeah, that's the thing. Like our strength is our bench. Our strength is our depth. That's why we can play defense so hard. That's why everybody who's in the game can play hard the entire time they're out there, because we have a wealth of depth to have guys come right in and continue it. Right. So we don't get it from anybody off the bench, or most of our guys off the bench. You got donuts from 5 or 6 guys. That doesn't happen. Yeah. That doesn't happen too often. So that's a great point. Eastside Meets for sure. Organic says they were hitting threes and Stu's eye left and right tonight. Just over. Yeah. Like Dylan Brooks was just getting buckets at one point. I'm like, bro, what in the world is going on?
Like he had every right.
It was just strange. Like, it was good defense. He just knocked down the shot. So you gotta live with it sometimes. It's just how it goes sometimes. How everybody have a career night against Speed is right, bro. It just happens sometimes. It's a weird game. You play 82 games in the season, you're bound to have a few of the games you're just like, huh?
and it's because we make them, because we're so good on defense to everybody else. We shut down everyone else that the one guy has to keep doing it, no matter how much we try to stop him. That's my theory too.
Agreed. Yeah, 100%. Organic doing a Stu point. You silly. All right, man. Let's go ahead and that's all I have for Stu. It wasn't. I thought he was okay. I thought you can feel his defense of presence when he is in the game. Like you can feel it's a little bit tougher for them. We saw a lot of those offensive rebounds early really get limited when he came into the game with JD, right? Holding him to one shot a lot more when he was in there with JD. So just things like that. He had a nice finish too off the glass with his left hand and one. So his touch around the rim is continuing to show and get better and better. I do like that for sure. Go ahead.
And it's usually when JD's in, we see Stu around the perimeter a little more. He didn't attempt a 3-point tonight.
They were guarding it. They were out there. There's a few times they were trying to swing it to him, but as soon as he got there, they were there. Yeah. So their defense, man, that's what I'm saying. The Suns are a good team, man. Regardless of who's playing like us, they play the same way regardless of who. They have guys who step in and do the same thing. They have their own Javonte Green. They have their own Daniss Jenkins. They have their own Ron Hollands over there. They got guys who can just step up.
Yeah, and they knew they played us tough last time, and they came out with the L. Like they were a little bit hungrier in that aspect. But I would. So 4 or 5 is fantastic. But I personally don't mind 1 or 2 attempts from Stu from 3 every game
for sure.
Yeah, he can hit those, and he doesn't just throw them up for no reason. So that's something again that if I don't see it tonight, I feel like we're gonna see it tomorrow. Some of these guys are due for stuff. Duncan's due for his threes to go in. Jenkins are due for his shots to go in. Stu's due for a block. Some of these guys are due. And the Warriors are gonna have to pay it.
They all do after the night. The whole bench is due after the night.
Exactly.
So definitely want to see a bounce back game next game for sure. So that's all we got, man. We're not gonna harp on this too much. Not a good game from our Pistons, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna bounce back in great fashion come next game. So speaking of next game, boss, the Pistons.
Quick.
What's that?
I just want to give props real quick.
Go ahead.
In 4 minutes, a basket and a steal from B-Ball Paul.
I'll read, man. Somebody said it earlier.
Yep, I'll take it. Bobi Klintman, he had 1 rebound and it was weak. I was mad.
I didn't see it.
He had 1 rebound. He's like, oh, like if anyone else was there to grab it, they would have.
I need to see more dog from him.
Bobi, you have exactly. I was like, Bobi,
I need to see more dog from Bobi.
This is your time.
I agree. He's talented, but I got to see more dog from because I've been hyping him up since last year as well.
I know. And
I got to see more.
Like, I just want to see you get angry. Someone hit him. Show them what Americans do.
I agree.
I agree. And then Chaz, had 1 3-point shot, which he didn't even seem comfortable with. I think he was just kind of like, well, he tried to take advantage of some time by getting some basket, but it didn't look like his usual shot. Because he was debating whether or not to give it up, to pass it. He ended up just shooting it, but it's good to see them out there. But yeah, just B-Ball Paul just putting up stats no matter how long he played.
You got to give him credit, man. He just makes an impact. I would have liked to see him more too. Well, we could have used him. So, could have, would have, should have. Hindsight 2020. Water under the bridge now. But as far as next game, boss, we know the Pistons probably are going to hop on a plane tonight so they can get from Phoenix to the Bay tomorrow. Yeah. They got that back-to-back against the Warriors. This will be the last game of their 3-game road trip, guys. This is the first matchup between these two teams this year, so the Pistons will get their first look at the Dubs this season. And as you guys probably already know, that game is going to be nationally televised on ESPN. So y'all know what that means. We will be live streaming during the game tomorrow night. Boston and I have decided, per you guys' request, that we're going to go live for all of the Pistons' remaining national broadcasts. So we live streamed last game, the last national broadcast, which was against the Rockets about a week ago, I think. And I'm not going to lie, it was fun. I had fun, man. About a week ago. It was fun. And you guys are rocking with it, heavy. So y'all said y'all wanted more. So that's exactly what we are going to do. So make sure you guys have your alerts turned on and we can all watch it together. I had fun last time, boss. Did you have fun? I thought
I did. It's gonna be late, and again, it's my first time. So please comment if you have any suggestions. Like, I'm open to it all. Don't be mean, but like but tell me, it's like, because I this is all new to me. So you're like, hey, on lives, I've seen people do this and this. I'm like, oh, actually, that's a really good idea. Just like camera angles. I don't know. If you have any constructive criticism, let us know. But I'm excited because it was fun, and it is fun. And what a better way to spend your Friday night, right?
You know what I'm saying? Chilling with us, watching the game, all that. So we need y'all seated, like Cross said. Y'all asked for it, so make sure y'all are seated. So that's all I got. That's all we got for the show, guys. We appreciate you for showing up and showing out as you guys always do. We appreciate y'all, man. Make sure you guys smash that like button and subscribe if you are new. So we hope you guys have a great night. Stay warm in this cold, crazy weather here in Michigan. Boss, it's not so bad over where you're at, but still stay warm over there as well.
Thank you.
And y'all know the drill, man. Detroit versus everybody. See y'all tomorrow night.
All the dirty work, all dog. I'ma dive on the floor, go try to block every shot. And I'ma be physical with you the whole game. Stu gonna be physical with you. When you think of the Pistons, you think it's just hard work and just gritty basketball. That's just the identity you gotta have when you put on that jersey.
I'm not your average breed of canine. Not a good dog, I'm bad boy for life. I set the tone, don't care about no tick. Let it be known, I get my respect. Come in the lane and see I don't bluff. If you retaliate, that's on ya. Talking pundits, I hear your shade. Talking that chop, you must want this way. Look at dog palm, mess around, find out, Look at dog palm, mess around, find out, For some barbecue sauce, boy, you better crop a hill, cause I'm like that. When you're ready for some barbecue sauce, boy, you better crop a hill, cause I'm like that. Mess around.